What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how to play Odin in the three different game modes that I play, which is Arena, Joust and Conquest. And because I'm not going to talk about Clash, Joust and Clash are pretty much the same builds because they're similar game modes. And I'm also going to be telling you guys how to play him, like using his abilities and how you can optimize it for when you're fighting as a team. And yeah, probably just give a few tips on how to play him. And as usual, I'm going to be putting the timestamps in the description of when I'm talking about the different game modes and when I'm talking about how you should play him, and the tips I've got for when you're playing Odin or if you want to learn him. So yeah, without further ado, let's start. I'm going to be starting off with Arena first, which is probably my most played game mode, just because it's not as serious and it's just a lot of fun to play Odin in that. So the way I use Odin to start in Arena is with Warrior's Blessing. I need to be in the fountain to actually purchase it. That, and then I either get first tier Genjis or I'll get first tier Breastplate. The thing you gotta know about Odin is you always want to rush max cooldown because he wants to be spamming all of his abilities. He wants to be spamming his jump, whether it's to engage or whether it's to retreat. You also want to be spamming his shield because he can survive a lot in team fights and it can really save his life. The more he's got his 2 up, and his 3 can be really good for his teammates for giving them attack speed buff or killing an opponent when they're trying to get away because the second tick is homing. And of course you always you have that stun up more often as well. So I most of the time go first tier. Now this basically depends on like who's on the opposite team. If they have 3 magicals, then you do try and go for the first tier of Genjis because you want that magical defense online. And if they're more physicals, 4 or 3 physicals, then you want to go for the first tier Breastplate. But it doesn't matter much in the end because you're going to be maxing out cooldown as fast as possible. So you're going to buy boots and then Genjis. So already here we have 30% cooldown. And we have decent power from Warrior Tabby, and we do get some good defense from Warrior's Blessing as well. What you can also choose to do is, if the magical really isn't doing enough damage, you can choose to go Pridwin instead of Genji's Guard, which will give you max cooldown straight up. If I can find it, there we go, Pridwin. And that's really good as well because not only does he have a shield from his 2, but he then also gets a shield from Pridwin after he activates his ultimate. And then it explodes as well, doing damage, so that's really good as well. And but I'll honestly, it is actually your choice. You can either go that or Genji's. I'll leave this here for now, but Genji's is also a really good item as it does give health as well. Next, again, if they are more physical, you always want to get a Void Shield and a Shifter Shield. They are really good items because you go more of a bruiser build. You do want to be doing the damage as well. And it's really annoying when if your team isn't able to finish them off. You do want that damage, for example, to hit your second tick on your 3, which is a homing, if they are trying to get away. And it's really satisfying to get kills like that because it does home and it does kill them because you do have that damage. And last of all, this is where you can go a bit flexible. If they have a bit of healing, then you can go Pestilence. If they have more physical gods and healing, then you can go Contagion. I think they did buff this a bit now. It does give 100 health, mana, MP5 and physical protection, and stops healing. And some little advice: don't go Contagion and Pestilence because they do not stack. It says that in the description. So I'll just go for Pestilence here because I don't have that much magical defense in my kit as it is right now. So the build you're looking for is the one I've got right now, or you can change the Pestilence for a Contagion if they do have healing, and you can change this for a Genji's Guard so you still have that magical protection. And if they don't even have healing at all, you can sometimes I like to go Mystical Mail because it gives you a ton of health, physical protection, crowd control reduction, and you do damage around you. But if you're feeling, like you want to do more damage, you can go Blackthorn Hammer as an early item instead of Genji's, and then Genji's later on to give you that max cooldown. You can even go Mantle of Discord to give you that 10% cooldown, and it does give a shockwave when you're low health. But most of the time I will choose to go an anti-healing item, because most of the time they do have some form of healing. However, if you do have healing on your team, for example, if you have a Ra or an Aphrodite or a Baron, I love to go the new shield, which does increase their healing. And again, you're going for that bruiser build, so it does give you the power, the protection, and the health. Relics, you always want to go Blink first in Arena, and then second you go Magic Shell. This is what I always get, because the Blink is good for when you're ulting. You blink and you definitely ult, and then you do your 3, and then try and stun them in it, and your team will pretty much kill them. And because your 2 is already a shield, it is really hard for them to kill you, because not only are you jumping around all the time, and your 2, as you can see, has a cooldown of 2. No, actually I need to remove the reduced cooldowns, because I wanted to show you guys spamming abilities. So you have 7.7 cooldown right now, but if you were to have max cooldown, it's on a 6.6 cooldown, and then it lasts for 4 seconds. So if you do the maths, that's 2.6 seconds where you don't have the shield. So you are just going to be spamming your abilities, get the shield, and after it runs out, you can see how quickly you can activate it. So you're still running around, they're trying to chase you, and you just have it up again. And if they do happen to kill you or they'll destroy the shield, you always have that backup shield for Shell. So in the end, it is just really hard to kill you. But the first 5 items I think is a must. Last one you can go a bit flexible, and again with this you can get Pridwin. Now I'm going to sell these items, and I'm going to go through what I build in Joust, which is pretty much the same, because you do want to be building Odin in the bruiser like sense, so he's doing damage as well as carrying the team, or supporting the team, should I say. So for Joust, you're also going to want to start Warrior's Blessing. You can go Guardian's Blessing, but I just feel like Warrior's Blessing is better for the damage reduction, and you do get 40 health and mana restored when you do damage an enemy god. And again, like I said with Odin, the key is to rush the cooldown. If they have 2 magical and 1 physical, then you want to go for the Genji's guard. If they have 2 physical and 1 magical, you want to go for the breastplate. Most of the time it is a warrior and a hunter, so you get the breastplate, but if it's a guardian, a mage, and a hunter, then you want to go the Genji's. But the mage is always doing a lot of damage throughout the game, for example Sero Kukulkan. Khan. So again, you will just repeat the breastplate, boots, and then a Genji's, or you can have a Genji's, boots, and then breastplate. And this basically just sets you up for the game, because you've got the MP5, you've got 10 MP5 from that, and 40 MP5, so you've already got 50 MP5. You got the movement speed, you got 65 physical protection and a load of mana from that. You've got health from this, and you got the magical protection, and you got 30% cooldown already on your 3rd item. And now you can just go around and fight people like you don't care about anything. Now this is where it gets a bit different. If they have 2 magicals, I choose to go Runic Shield, because it gives you 200 health, which is quite a lot. It gives you that power for that bruiser build, and it does give you 50 magical protections for the high damaging magical gods. You can also choose to go Ancile, but I prefer the Runic Shield because it reduces their power, and it does give you that 200 health. It would be really good to get this, as it does give you that max cooldown 10%, but since the new power pot does give 10%, I choose just to go 30% and then get a blue buff halfway through the game, because the mage won't be needing it, and then I'll get the red pot late game, and that'll be my max cooldown. So first I'll go through the 2 magical, 1 physical. I'll get that, and then I'll also get a shifter shield, mainly because it does give you physical protection, power, physical power if you're above 75% health, and then that plus 35 physical and magical when you're below a certain amount. So this in a sense is giving you the magical protections you also need, as well as the physical. And last item, if you do want to rush the magical max cooldown, you can go Mantle of Discord, but you don't usually go Void Shield. I'll either go Bulwark of Hope or a Pestilence. If they don't have healing, I'll go for the Bulwark of Hope, mainly because you have your 2 as a shield. You will have your shell as a shield, and then you will also have the shield from Bulwark of Hope, as well as 250 health and 20% crowd cooldown reduction. So you basically have 3 shields, and that's what I'm talking about. It's just really hard to kill Odin late game because of how much health he has, how much protections he has. He's still doing damage from when he's landing on people with his bird bomb, and he's still got his shell, so it's just really good for when he needs to survive. Now if they have 2 physical and 1 magical, I still choose to go the Genjis because it is a good cooldown. You can go Pridwin if the magical is, if they have a Guardian, Hunter and a Assassin, then they're not doing that much magical damage, it's just the tank, so you can go Pridwin. But I, to be safe, go the Genji's Guard because it's a really good item. Now, at this point, I choose to go Shifter Shield because, again, it does give you that power, the protections for the physical gods that you've got more of, and more protections when you're under a certain amount of health. Then I will go Void Shield. It does give you the health, the protection, and the power again, so you can't be damaging. And then again, you can choose to go Mantle of Discord. It does give a ton of protection and gives you that max cooldown. Or if they're doing a lot of basic attack damage, you can go harder than Nemean. If they're not doing that much magical damage and mainly physical and they're healing, you go Contagion. A lot of it is situation dependent, but the last item, as always, is something you can be flexible on. If they got physical healing, you can choose to go Pestilence. If you want to give your allies, because they are doing a lot of physical damage, you can go with Sovereignty. It'll give you a load of health, some physical protections, and an aura of physical protections, and an aura of HP 5, so you're going to be gaining a lot of health back. But that last item is where you can kind of decide based on the situation. But again, these 5 items are the core items that you always want on Odin. If this is a physical team, just swap the Void Shield with a Runic Shield, and that'll be your build for a magical team. But yeah, that's the relics are always the same. Blink. You can, if you want, go med instead of blink. Again, it depends on if you want to be more aggressive, then you go a blink. If you want to be more defensive, then you go a med. But always the second relic is going to be a shell because you do want to have that extra shield and survive in battles. But I always prefer to go blink because it is just really good for team fights. And that's pretty much it for the Joust build, and now I'm going to sell these items and talk about the Conquest build. Now, well, I'll sell this first so I'll put the timestamp here for when I start talking about Conquest. So now we're going to go into the Conquest build. You can play 2 roles with Odin, which, technically 3 roles, so I'll talk about all 3 roles. I'll start off with a Guardian role. If you do have, for example, a Sol or an Oleron or a Kronos, that's your ADC, you can choose to go tank. This is if you're like in call with someone or someone's in your party and they want to go magical one, but you can also go double physical. If your mid and solo is also magical, then you'll still have the 3 physical and 2 magical on the team, so it'll be a fair difference. So you're going to go the Guardian's Blessing, and because it is Conquest and you are supposed to be helping your teammates, I highly suggest you go for the boots start. So you get your Guardian's Blessing, your boots, and then you do get a Health Chalice, because that'll help you throughout the game. You'll got a bit of movement speed, and you're going to be with your ADC with you for the Guardian's Blessing assists. That'll give you the HP 5 as well and MP 5, so you're going to be getting your mana and health back. Then you want to go into boots, and because it is, like I said, Conquest, now you're going for the more tank role because you're playing the Guardian, not solo. So you want to go for Gauntlet because it'll give you some good HP 5, some good health, and the 55 physical and magical protections, or 50 magical and physical protections. So that's really good. Then because you are the Guardian, you want to go 90% of the time. You want to go Sovereignty, and you want to go Heart Ward because you want aura items that'll give your team protections as well for while you're fighting. It'll give you the MP5 and the HP5 as well. And this is where you do want to go. I usually prefer breastplate. Again, you're looking at the opponent's team. If they're more magical, you go for the Genjis. If they're more physical, you go for the breastplate. I'll mostly go for the breastplate, and then because I've gone for the breastplate as last item, I can go a Genjis if I want. or I can go a Pestilence. If they're healing, then I'll go for the Contagion if they're more physical. If they're more magical, then I'll go for the Pestilence. And then in the end, I'll sell boots to go Mantle of Discord. So that'll give me my 30% cooldown, and then I'll get my 10% cooldown from the red pot. Now, if you're playing jungle, which he's really good for jungle as well right now, ever since he got reworked with his 3, you want to start off with Assassin's Blessing, and me personally, because you're the jungle, you want to be doing damage as well. You can actually choose. I prefer the Transcendence build because it gives you a load of power. You can also go for the Crusher build. You can also go for Glad Shield. But that's more of a solo thing. But you can also go Blackthorn Hammer. It'll give you power, it'll give you a load of health, and it'll give you a load of mana. But I'll go for the Transcendence, and then you're going to be going for the boots. Now this is where you can choose to go Bruiser or full damage. Me personally, you do want to go Bruiser with Odin because he is a warrior, so he's going to be surviving fights as it is. So I like to go a Void Shield or a Shifter Shield, but I end up going both at the end of the day anyway. And then for my cooldown, you can, if you want to go to the tanky side, go for a Breastplate. If you don't want a Breastplate and you want to go more damage, you can go a Jotun's Wrath instead. I will go for the Breastplate because they do have an ADC who's going to be doing a lot of physical damage, so you do have that physical defense stacked for that. You do also want to go Runic Shield then, for the magical damage they have, and it'll give you health, and it'll give you power, and it'll reduce their power, or you can go Ansile for the cooldown, but I will prefer the Runic Shield. If you have healing on your team, you sell the Assassin's Blessing for the shield, which will increase the healing. But most of the time I will go a Titan's Bane because they will have the solo laner. Sometimes their jungle will have defense as well, and they do have their support as well, so you want to go Titan's Bane. So now you've got 205 power, bearing in mind you do get power from your ult as well, which is going to be stacking, and it's just like your power will be pretty high without having like every item as power, and you're going to be doing that really good damage. And for team fights, again, it's really good. You do want to start off with Blink and then go Shell because you do want to be surviving for the team fights and putting your ult down to help the team. That's the jungle build. Finally, we're going to go on to the solo build, which again is the more bruiser tanky build. Most of the time there is healing on their opponent team, so you do want to get the anti-heal for their team. You want to start off with Warrior's Blessing, and first tier you can do either Blackthorn or Glad Shield. I'll most of the time do Glad Shield because you do want to keep up with the other warrior. In terms of healing, can be a Guan Yu who's healing, could be Bellona or Osiris with the Berserker Shield, so they're going to be healing a lot. So to keep up with that, you go Gladiator Shield, then you want to go into Boots, and then because they are a physical god that you're versing most of the time, and they do have the ADC again, like I said in the team, you want to go for the tanky build. You want to go Breastplate, it'll give you the cooldown. Then if they have healing, you want to go Pestilence. If they have more physical, then you want to go Contagion. It's getting a bit repetitive now, so you are getting the gist of what you're supposed to do. If there is just more physical, you want to go Void Shield, you can go Shifter Shield. I'll opt for Shifter Shield because it does give you the power, the physical defense, and like I keep repeating, the magical defense for when you're below 75% health, which can come in clutch in some fights. Again, a good tip is click T and you see the top damage on their team, and it'll basically tell you if you need to build more magical defense, more physical defense. You can go Void Shield, and you can finish your build with either a Pestilence or a Genji's Guard. I'll go for the Genji's Guard, so you're really tanky right now, and you can sell your boots, and you're going to sell Glad Shield late game anyway. And you can sell your boots to go Pestilence, and then if your team has healing, you go this shield, or if they got more magical defense, you can go Runic Shield. If they have more magical damage, you go Runic Shield, or you can go an Ansile for that cooldown. Mainly getting it from the pot, so you just go Runic Shield. Or if they're just doing a lot of damage and you don't want to max the cooldown, you just go a Bulwark of Hope because you do want to be tanky. And you basically have 3 magical defense items, 3 physical defense items, and you're tanky and you're doing the damage that you need to be doing throughout the fight. You will be activating your ult, and then when someone dies in it, you get that permanent stack of 5 power, which stacks up to 10 times to give you 50 power. That's really good. So that's what you want to be doing with Odin in solo lane, in Conquest. So I've covered all 3 game modes now. Now I'm just going to give you a tip on how to fight him based on different situations. I'll go for my most common build, which is Boots, Genji's Guard, Void Shield, Shifter Shield, my Breastplate, and the last item again, like it's flexible, I just got Mantle of Discord. So the best way to do it is, if you're going into a fully fight, you want to blink in, ult, and then activate your 3. This will be slowing them with the pulses. As you can see, the pulse slow is 20%, and then when they're in the ult, you want to stun them. And then what a lot of people don't know is, I'm pretty sure the 2 is an auto attack cancel. So after you stun them, you attack and then you activate your 2 again and you attack again instantly. And your whole team should be behind you fighting. Again, if you do, you can quickly activate your 3, so increase your attack speed. You can attack, reset it, and then jump on them instantly because they're going to be stuck in the cage. So that's mainly how you want to be playing him. If you want to be playing more defensively, what you do is you jump in, attack, and then activate your shield. So now you're fighting with your team while you have your shield, rather than jumping in and now you have no shield. So if I go in and jump in, I don't have a shield right now because it would be on cooldown, and I'm just fighting without a shield. You're playing more supportive, you want to go in and then activate your shield, and now you're fighting and they're damaging your shield. Also, what you want to realize is your shield health is based on your power as well. So that's why you want to go for the bruiser build, because it gives your shield more health, which will make you survive longer in fights. And my biggest tip for Odin is, when you're fighting, even if the god is about to die, put your ult down, because what you have to realize is when someone dies in your ult, you get a permanent stack of 5 power. So it doesn't matter if they're on 2 health. I'll go demonstrate on a god bot. It'll probably be hard for me to kill them because I'm not doing the most damage right now. So I'll just quickly auto her down. So they're about to die. You do that, and there we go. You got a stack on your ult. You now have 5 power, and you pretty much did nothing. So it doesn't always have to be you go in to activate your ult because you have to activate it because you're fighting someone. If they're about to die, just put your ult down. You're gonna get that free stack of permanent 5 power, which again is really helpful. And not a lot of people know it. And when I do it, and I tell people, they're like, "Oh, that's really smart." And I'm like, "Exactly," but not a lot of people know it. So yeah, just put your ult down if someone's about to die and you get that permanent stack. That's my biggest tip for Odin, and I think I've covered everything I wanted. I just wanted to say thank you for the support on the Susanoo video. It got like more than 100 views in the first day, which is amazing. I don't think I've ever done that with a video before, but I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. And someone commented they wanted to see how to play Odin, so I thought I'd show you guys right now. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like down below, subscribe if you're new, and if there are any other gods you want to see, just leave in the comments below, and I'll try my best to make a video on how to play that god, or how I play him, and how you can utilize all of their abilities. But other than that, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.